Hey. I had to remember that I set a live up because I honestly was over at Terry Lynn's playing Would You Rather and having a blast. And it's like 1 minute I was looking and it was 4:44, and the next thing I looked over and it was 5 o'clock. So I was like, well, let me get over here. Let me get over to my channel because, like I said, today is Pajama Jammy Jam. So it's a day of fun. It's a day of positivity. It's a day of good vibes. It's a day of caring. It's a day of being there for each other. So that's really what today is about. Hey, Susan. I was just telling them how I was over there at Terry Lynn's playing Would You Rather? And I was so caught up in that. And then I looked up and I'm like, wait a minute, it's 5 o'clock. Let me run over and get started. Yeah, they are. Everybody is. Everybody is. But like I said, I had set it up for today, so I'm still going to show up. I'm going to show up regardless. And I'm still going to come and do exactly what it is I came to do. So, but I was going to talk for a few minutes anyway before I started. So I always run my mouth. But yeah, hey, so Ivy. But yeah, today is a Pajama Jammy Jam day. So, like I said, everybody has things to do. Shoot, today could be a sports day. It could be your chill day. It could be the day you watch your Real Housewives. It could be a day you're doing something. But what I wanted to offer today was also a place of peace. So you come back to it later on today. You don't have to be here right at the moment today. I'm still going to do what I came to do. Live just gives you the advantage of us being able to interact with each other at that moment. But that's it. Hey, how is your day going so far? How are you doing? Because I made sure no matter what I did today, I've just done things I wanted to do. You know, like just chill and like not just wanting to do, but things I enjoyed. So I wasn't just doing them, I was just enjoying them. And so that's the kind of mood I've been trying to set for the whole day. See, Susan, I'm telling you, that's how I promise you. Sometimes I don't even get notifications, and I could watch you all the time. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't get a notification. I just don't. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to going out and coming back in and see if it works. I know before people used to say like you could unsubscribe and then subscribe right back, but like I said, even if I don't have a problem with that person, it just keeps happening where you like I didn't get no notification, and I looked up and somebody was live. But yeah, it happens. Because I put this notification up when I got finished with the first live. I set this one instantly. It is, I'm telling you. Because I set this one because remember, I went earlier into the wrong live. I went into the Pajama Jammy live instead of my Grand Rising Kings and Queens live. And so I was like, well, you know what? It's going to be a Pajama Jammy day. So I just said all my lives for today were all going to have the same title that led up to tonight where we get together. And like I said, even tonight, I'm not going to keep no one but an hour. You know, we're going into our work week. People are going into their work week. People are getting things together for the kids for the week, whatever it may be. Kids are home, and now you're going into your summer week, whatever it may be. So I just want us to bring it in with some good energy. So I'm trying my best every time I step on the mic to be positive today. And not just today, but today is the day I'm in. So this will be a good week starter. So yeah, so I have some trivia questions that I want to wait. But so I don't keep losing them, I'm gonna stay on this. So let's get started. All right, first question. What 90s teen movie was retitled after a Britney Spears song? What 90s teen movie was retitled after a Britney Spears song? I promise you guys, I would not have had a clue to the answer of this one. And I like Britney Spears, but I didn't know there was no movie titled off of any song she had. And they don't even give us a hint, so I can't even throw a hint out. No, it's not Teen Wolf. But it's a teen movie, was retitled after a Britney Spears song. Me neither. Me either, Susan. And I'm looking at the answer. The song is "Drive Me Crazy." Well, the name of the movie, I should say, is "Drive Me Crazy," but that's the Britney Spears song that the movie got its title off of. So yeah, I wouldn't have known that one. Oh, here, listen to the next question. What was Drive Me Crazy's original title? The answer is "Next to You." We didn't know the question originally, so yeah, the original name of the movie was "Next to You," but then they changed the movie and they retitled it "Drive Me Crazy" after Britney Spears' song "Drive Me Crazy." Now I do remember Britney Spears' song "Drive Me Crazy," so now I guess the movie feels like, I guess the movie felt the song went with the movie because they changed their whole title, because the name of the movie was originally "Next to You." Hmm. Interesting. Didn't know that. See, you learn something. So I always feel like when I'm doing trivia, whether I know the answer or not, I learn something. I learned something. Okay, the next question. Hey, Heidi. Hey, sis. The next question. Who was Russia's first elected president? Who was Russia's first elected president? And I wouldn't have known this one either. I would have said Putin, but they were like, no, that's theirs now. Look, I'm telling you, I wouldn't have known this one at all. But I already got the bad eyes today, and I'm like, wait a minute. The bad eyes, a little green, and trying to read small writing. I'm like, I'm squinting like crazy. So that's why we have no screen up. Oh, wow. Yes, Heidi, it is Boris. It is. It is. I would have known that. It was Boris Yeltsin. Yeltsin. Boris Yeltsin. Yeltsin. Yes, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have known his first name or either. So that's learned something else. I just learned something else. Okay, the next question. What's the famous haircut inspired by a must-see TV sitcom? What's the infamous haircut inspired by a must-see TV sitcom? So this haircut after this must-see TV sitcom. So it was a very popular sitcom in the 90s. And someone on its hairstyle was so popular that there was a haircut named after it. I didn't know this answer, but I am not surprised. No. No. Okay. I'm going to give you my own hint. It's off a character on Friends. On the show Friends. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. Well, I'm gonna give you guys the answer. It's called the Rachel. It's from Jennifer Aniston's character on the show Friends. So there was an infamous haircut inspired by the must-see TV sitcom, and it was called the Rachel from Jennifer Aniston's character on Friends. Once again, would not have known that. Okay. What's the first animated feature film nominated for a Best Picture Oscar? What's the first animated feature film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar? Right, Susan? I've never heard of a Rachel, and I loved Friends, and I'm like, I've never heard of anybody coming in to get a Rachel because they just had to have Jennifer Aniston. Or it was just so popular that I just walked around and saw so many women, who had the Jennifer Aniston haircut. I don't remember it being that infamous. I just don't. I don't. That we called it the Rachel. Like, I don't. Nothing against you, girl, because Jennifer Aniston looks great these days. Her hair is beautiful. It's layered and it's beautiful, but I still don't know about the Rachel. I don't. And I loved Friends, and I don't remember that being maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it. Let me see what you guys are saying. No, it's not the Lion King. I would have thought so. It's not Cinderella. Oh, it is Beauty and the Beast. You're sorry, Heidi. I was too busy talking about that the Rachel, the haircut. Yep, it is Beauty and the Beast. It is Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I did not know that Beauty and the Beast was the first animated film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. I didn't know that at all. I didn't. I love Beauty and the Beast, though. I think it's a great story. And I think the newer version of Beauty and the Beast gave us like a more of an understanding of the story that was deeper. So if you were grown or, you paid attention to the older one, you're like, wait a minute. I never realized that old boy that sings what's his name, Gafar? The guy that sings song about him, that really he's infatuated with him. Like, he's in love with him. And when the newer one came out, they put more emphasis on it. And I was like, it's more to the story. Oh no wonder. But I love Beauty and the Beast. I really do. Okay, the next question is, how many Americans turned in to watch the O.J. Simpson trial verdict? How many Americans tuned in to watch the O.J. Simpson trial verdict? You'd think it was Cinderella. I would have thought it was Lion King. Even if Cinderella and all those didn't get nominated back in the day, I would definitely have thought Lion King would have been the first one. But it wasn't. Or Toy Story for some reason. It was millions. It was millions, but we need a number. It was millions. It was millions of people. I don't know why they threw this question out. Like, everybody knows how many people tuned in, but maybe when you think about it, they probably were saying that on the news, like so many million Americans tuned in to watch the O.J. Simpson verdict. The verdict was big. The verdict was big. I remember being young when the verdict was coming in. I remember being with a group of people saying, like, man, if it's a non-guilty, then I'm not even gonna lie to you, then we lose. Because see, when you was young, that rebel party, you thought that was the movement. But that destroys your community. But some people in the anger, they're going to destroy shit. They're not going to think about the aftermath. They're not going to think about the lack of businesses or people wanting to build businesses in your community after you destroyed it. They're not going to think of the fact that now you have to go to other neighborhoods that don't want you there because you couldn't even take care of your own or respect your own neighborhood. But the reality is, when you're in the middle of the anger and you're young and you're a rebel to what is going on around you, oh, that'll make sense because you're only thinking about the moment. But don't get me into something deep. Don't. But yeah. The answer, let's see what y'all saying. 150 million. No, go down, go down. It was actually 95 million. So 95 Americans tuned in to watch the O.J. Simpson verdict. 95 million. That's a lot. The Dream Team won Olympic gold in what year's games? The Dream Team won Olympic gold in what year's games? The Dream Team. Is that Dream Team ain't talking about what Michael, Magic, you know what I mean? Pippen, Patrick. Is Larry Johnson in that? Like that Dream Team? Did I say in the hundreds? I thought I said in the millions. Oh, no. It wasn't in the hundreds. I'm sorry. I thought I said it was millions because I wanted people to say in the millions, but it was in the millions. I'm sorry. It wasn't in the hundreds. It was 95 million. No, when I saw the answers, I saw 150 million, 160 million. I said, wait a minute, go down, go down. I'm sorry. Because that was definitely a mislead because it was 95. I mean, here's the thing. I didn't know what the answer was at all. I just knew it because I'm reading it. '92, yep, Heidi. The Dream Team was 1992. Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay. And they want to go. But I remember that being a big year. I remember thinking they little, what do you call it, their warm ups that they wore. Oh, I thought they were the coolest. I wanted one so bad. So bad. But that's when a lot of basketball players had a lot of gym shoes. Many players had shoes, and to me that was a big deal. And you knew it was a big player. Cause like, oh, they had their own shoes. I don't know. I used to like basketball a lot more than I like it now. But I don't dislike it at all. But I used to like it a lot more than I do now. I guess it's because I don't really watch it now. But if I'm there and it's on, it doesn't like irritate me or bother me or bore me, or I don't feel lost when I'm watching it. I like basketball. I do. But I'm just not into it like I used to, where I had a team or I liked a team or I was rooting for this person or I actually knew who players were on every team. Right now, if they're not older players, I probably wouldn't know who they were on the teams, honestly. And then my team kind of got whacked for so long. I think, but they're back, and they're back. And I'm not saying they're the greatest, the Bulls, but they're definitely, in the last, ever since, to me, ever since we had Rose and we lost them, but all that's when I really started rooting for them again or caring about my team like I used to again. And they didn't even win a championship with them or anything. It's just I started rooting again and feeling that Chicago love for my team. But I just haven't been in basketball in a minute. Been a minute, but I do love Golden State, so I can say that I do love Golden State. Yeah, and see, even when I'm in I don't really watch basketball. I usually watch the playoffs and the championship, the finals. Just like if it's the Super Bowl, I'm not a football fan because I don't understand the plays. So it makes me feel lost, and I don't want to sit there asking questions all day about what someone's doing, what's that move, how are they playing it. So I can't watch it and enjoy it by just knowing what I'm watching, knowing if that was a good play or whatever. But I can watch football, but since I'm lost, it's not entertaining to me. I understand golf. I understand, you know what I mean? I even understand soccer. All this I understand, so I can watch it and enjoy it and respect it. But when I know when I'm not in the zone, when I don't watch it all. Like the playoffs will be going on, like right now in the finals, we'll get into all this and excuse me. I haven't had any desire to watch a game. And I put one on the other day. This is about a no, that's about a week ago. But I put one on and I wasn't even watching. I'm like, oh, I gotta get back in. Because I do like sports in so many different ways. In looking at some of the players and enjoying the sport and have playing the sport before. So I do like sports. I really do. But I gotta get back into them, y'all. I really do. Hey, Sly. Hey, sis. I really have to get back into them. Okay, let's see. Where do we leave off? Okay, it was Heidi got that, the Dream Team in 92. Um, guys, I'm not keeping a score because we're not doing it for like a win. We're just having some fun and answering some questions together, and that's really it. So I want to make sure I said that so you didn't know. But right now, Heidi's kicking ass because I've seen her with the right answer more than once. Okay, next question. Um, oh wow, to believe that. What was the federal minimum wage for most? Wait, what was the federal minimum wage for most the 90s? So what was the minimum wage in most of the 90s? What was the federal minimum wage for most the 90s of the 1990s? I can't believe this answer. So Ivy, you're a little high. You're a little high. I can't believe this answer. Wow. But when I think of the 90s, Sly said 475. Oh, you're real close, Sly. You are very close. Hey, Shanna, $5. You're going up. You're going up. It's going down. But Sly, you are real close. You are real close. Ooh, Heidi, go up a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. I cannot believe this was the minimum. But when I think about the 90s, I was a teenager and young. So even if I had a job, I wasn't paying bills or really paying attention. But I just don't remember it being this low. Go up just a little more. Y'all are real close. Y'all are warm. It is in the four, but it's like I said, you all are real close. I cannot believe that sometimes you read these questions like, wow, had no idea. It was 425. Yep, Susan, you just called it right as I said it. 425. I cannot believe that. 425. Wow. And so I just wondered, like, and that had to be because you all were all so close to the answer. So that tells me around what the minimum wage you could remember it being. But I honestly thought it was $5. So as I was reading the question, I'm thinking $5. And I'm like, 4.25. What was the price of living? That 4.25 an hour would suffice for most people, even in different, places where the cost of living was different. How could that have been okay? Amazing. You made $5 an hour? Yeah, because that's why I'm like, man, I thought for some reason I thought it was because I remember maybe it was around 4.25. I got my first job at 16, and I remember just thinking if I added up my 10 hours and what I got in a check, but of course I wasn't thinking about taxes or any of that type of stuff because you're young. You just thinking about a check, so you done added up the money. Bam, this is what it came to. This is what I should get. Then it's a reminder when you get a check, like, wait, what do you mean this? Why am I paying this? What does this have to do with me? That's how you feel. And then when you get older, you think, oh my God, this is just crazy. And I mean, I guess it's good if in these times, especially when you're in the part of the people that are of the minimum wage and of the majority of middle class or whatever you want to class. I call it making it class, surviving. Because one thing in us, so in being American, we're fighters and we are strong and we're gonna survive. You gonna say you couldn't make it off a buck, we gonna live off one. Because we survivors. So I'm a strong believer of that. But when you think of what we have, this was the minimum wage. Sorry, y'all, that took me somewhere. Just thinking. Wow. Okay, with a degree. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, just when you think of the fun, you think about throwing people scraps. And not only do they have to make it off of it, they got to sit around and be judged. Because you decided to throw me some shit and tell me to make some perfume. And some get mad when you make some perfume. The next question, let's get off of the price of us living at one point. So, I really commend the people that were going to work and working the basic, what we call the basic jobs, or just working, but they were working, that they were making this and having to survive, and they did. They did, because you know what I mean. They still here. They made it. Man, I salute you. I salute you. Looking at it that way. Next question. Whitney Houston had a massive hit in 1992 with a cover of whose hit? Whitney Houston had a massive hit in 1992 with a cover of whose hit? So, whose song did Whitney Houston do over in 1992? That was a big hit. And what was the name of the song? Well, you could just say whose song it was. But I'm sure once we say the name, we'll all know the song of whose song it was. Yeah, grandma gonna instill that because they were sent the scraps. You know, the people that learn to eat the chitlins and all that stuff is because you was sent those parts that nobody wanted and nobody would take. But a bunch of people had to eat. So you had to make do with what you had. And you had to learn to survive in many a cultures and many a races. Is some part of them that had that fight where they had to just survive off of what was given or what was there. The indigenous people are the biggest example of that. They lived off the land and they survived and they made it and they were happy. It's not that everybody, some people think they got nothing and you got more than most money could never buy. You have some things, you have to learn the values and stuff. So I definitely feel that above you about the grandma. They instill that in you because they come from that. Our elders come from that. All of our elders. I will always love you. Yep. That's it. Heidi, that's it. Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. I love that song. I love that song. And one of my favorite versions of hearing that song is well, of course it's Whitney. I love Dolly's too. But is that Deborah Cox? Who sings We Can't Be Friends? Is that Deborah Cox? But she does a version. Oh, she snapped. She jamming. She really hitting them vocals on that one. Yep, Dolly. How you walking your fur babies? Enjoy. That means it's nice and beautiful, and they're out getting some good air with you. Enjoy that walk. Okay, let's see. The next question is Macaulay Culkin was paid $1 million, the first child star ever to do so, for what film? He was paid $1 million for his role in what film? He was the first child star to ever do so. What film did he get that $1 million for? Not Home Alone. It's after Home Alone. And I don't even want to say too much. Hey, Dana, because then I would really give y'all the answer. But because I mean, I think we all, especially if you, who didn't love Macaulay Culkin? Home Alone was just, I loved him so much. It's not Home Alone, but it's a very popular Macaulay Culkin movie. Yep, My Girl. I didn't know he was given $1 million, but My Girl is a great. Oh goodness! Oh goodness! That's a great movie. That is a great movie, and what it tells you is, even though she's young, like, but that nothing lasts forever, but they'll have an impact on you for a lifetime, and it shows you that not understanding, but I was young when that movie came out, being sad about him dying, and I'm allergic to bees, so being scared about the fact, even though he was stung by multiple bees, but and just how she didn't know how to feel, like she thought she understood death. Oh, that movie is such a learning movie, and I think every young child at a certain age should watch it, even though it's sad. Just like Miley and Me, it's like the movie with the dog. It's a sad movie, but it is a part of the circle of life. And even though that's not what you want, but I don't know how to explain it. But oh, that's a great movie. I love that movie. Mm. Oh, you have never seen My Girl? Oh, Dana, it's a good one. My Girl 2 is good, but My Girl 1. My Girl 2 is good because at least it gives us a follow up so we can make sure she's okay. You know what I mean? But My Girl is a great movie. It's definitely a life lesson about two best friends, and great movie. Great movie. Okay, next question. What was the peak Billboard chart position of the wait Rembrandt Rembrandt Rembrandts? The Rembrandts. I'll be there for you. What was the peak Billboard chart position of the Rembrandts? I'll be there for you. So this is the peak number they've made on the Billboard chart positions. The Rembrandts. Rembrandts. The Rembrandts. I'll be there for you. What was the peak Billboard position for them? So what was their peak number? What was the highest they went up on the charts? Not number one. Do y'all remember Casey Kasem? Not 10. Who you close at 56? You close at 16. You so close, I almost said you got it right there, Heidi. Yep, 17. It was 17. Number 17 on the Billboard charts position. That was their highest number for I'll Be There For You, the Rembrandts. Remember Casey Kasem's top 20? That's how I would really know who was on the top 20 of the charts of the Billboards, by watching Casey Kasem. That's really how I would know. These days, if I'm not sitting to actually read and look into that part of the chart, you know what I mean? I have no clue. I have no clue. And nothing against them. I might know the song, but I might not even know that their song is, just nothing against them. I just don't. But Casey Kasem used to keep me with it. Okay, next question. What fashion accessory was invented by a high school teacher? What fashion accessory was invented by a high school shop teacher? I did not know this, but as soon as I read the answer, I remember how popular these things were. Oh my goodness, but I had no idea of this. So I'm started thinking of all these things in the 90s that were accessory, and there's a million things. 90s was the accessory decade. Everything was an accessory. The socks, your bracelets, your you know what I'm saying? Friendship bracelets, your headbands, your leggings, it was just leggings were also in the 80s, but it was a year of accessories. Your jacket, airbrushing, putting things on your clothes. I mean, it was the year. It was the year. Troll dolls on your hats. It was the year of accessories. I mean, so it's hard to name just one, but this one, wow. Once again, when I read it, it gave me knowledge. Nope, it wasn't the footsies. It was a bracelet. It was a bracelet, but it was a certain kind of bracelet. It was a certain kind of bracelet. It was very popular in the 90s, and the design was made by a high school shop teacher. What fashion accessory was invented by a high school shop teacher? And at once this was very popular. Yep, but it's called the slap bracelet. Do you guys remember the bracelet that you would slap your wrist and it would connect to your like a bracelet? You would slap it onto your wrist, and it was called the slap bracelet. I remember because I had 3 of them. And one almost looked like a checkerboard. So it's black and white. But and I got it from Claire's, but they were called slap bracelets. But that was invented by a high school shop teacher. See what I mean? Like, we're learning. I am seriously being informed in here. Yeah, I remember those. Y'all don't. Yeah, Dana, do you remember the slap bracelet? Yes, 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 the slap bracelet. Yes, yes. That was invented by a high school shop teacher. Amazing. Fun fact, fun fact. Okay, Power Rangers was banned in what country until 2011? Well, they say 2011. I'm just gonna say 2011. It's the same thing. What I mean, Power Rangers was banned in what country until 2011? I didn't know Power Rangers were ever banned. I didn't know that. I know Pokemon had some bans and some restrictions in certain places, and like in any school that was like a religious school, you couldn't do Pokemon. Um, Harry Potter, they weren't with, but I didn't know that the Power Rangers had a ban. No, it wasn't China. It was not the United Kingdom. Hey, Wind Whispers. That's why we said snap. I know what you're talking about because people called them that too, where I was from. But when they said slap bracelet, I knew exactly what it was. I'm like, oh, but I knew what you were talking about. That's why I said, yep, Heidi, you got it. It wasn't China. The Power Rangers the Power Rangers was banned in what country until 2011? And look how late. I mean, they were banned there for a long time. Like the Power Rangers have been out forever. Oh my goodness. My little cousin brothers are in their 30s, and I remember them watching it as little kids. And yeah, but till 2011, New Zealand. Yes, Dana, that is the answer. New Zealand. No, it was not Russia or Japan. It was New Zealand. I wonder why they banned it. I'm gonna have to look that up afterwards. But yeah, New Zealand. What video game was the first ever to be played in space? What video game was the first ever to be played in space? Wouldn't have known that, but I love this game. And remember, most of these answers are from the 90s. This is 90s trivia. So this is a more of a 90s game. No, it's not Pac-Man. I wish I loved that game. I love Miss Pac-Man the most, but yes, no, but it's not that. They're playing video games in space. Wow. And I'm good because I'm squinting up a storm, but I can read the chat. Read the questions off my phone. No, not Donkey Kong, not Space Invaders, not Centipede. Yes, Tetris. Yes, Tetris is what they were playing in space. I love Tetris. Now, what's funny is some people used to tell me all the time, "Oh, Dr. Mario is just like Tetris." No, it's not. It's fun, and you're breaking down, but Dr. Mario is more like you're supposed to be getting rid of the viruses, but it's more like me breaking down something that's already built up high, and I don't want to let it build, to the top. So I got to keep breaking it down so it doesn't build up and hope I find the right pieces that match with each other. Tetris is starting with nothing for me, and it's up to me to keep it low. I love Tetris. I love Tetris. I love Donkey Kong is a game that is definitely from the 80s that so it's my years of learning to love video games when they were really really simple, but they seemed so complex to me back then. But I don't know how to play Donkey Kong. I haven't mastered getting up past the first flight of stairs. Yeah, I mean, when I tell you I suck at Donkey Kong, I love video games and I can play them. And usually when I can't get them, I just keep playing them. But I've been trying to get Donkey Kong since a kid. Come on, y'all. I have a Nintendo. I have a Switch. I got Donkey Kong on it right now. And I still, please. And I got the little mini version of the Nintendo that came out a couple of years ago. So I got Donkey Kong on there too. No, me and Donkey Kong are not good friends. Okay. We're not. Yeah, like I said, Dr. Mario is fun, but I always tell people don't call it Tetris. They're two different games. Dr. Mario is fun, but I can't make it past level 10 to this day. I think when you're playing, especially the original, I think it got like 15 levels in Dr. Mario. It depends on, because then they made other games of it. But I'm talking about the first Dr. Mario. Yeah, because that's on my original Nintendo, the first one. I think I got 15 levels. I think I could make it to like 12. After that, it's over. I'm like, oh, they started me from the top. They throwing me the worst pills. They don't match nothing. I'm out. I'm out. But I'll play it for hours. I love the challenge because I know with any video game I play, if I start playing it, what I know is if they made it, there's a way to beat it. Period. And so they just challenges me to figure that out. And back in the day, like when you play Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, any of those games, it was patterns. So if you could remember what pattern these ghosts gonna go into, it could teach you how to, dominate the board. Just know their pattern. And that'll be a life lesson too, even though it's a video game. It'll teach that some people are just a pattern. And if you can figure that out, then you'll just know how to move to that pattern so that you don't have the extra problems of trying to figure out how to navigate you to a pattern that don't make no sense or that you would never take. I had fun too, Heidi. Thanks for coming in, sis. Yeah, I'm telling you, I am terrible at Donkey Kong. I am, and I know people who are great. They can get it. They're gonna save her. I'm like, oh, okay. I just went up here. I'm jumping over the barrels. Oh, no, I just went. It's a blank mission because I'm over here and there's no way out but to get. Yeah, I'm not the good one. I'm not the good one in Donkey Kong at all. At all. At all. And that sucks, but it is. Okay, we got about 8 more. Here goes the next one. Genetic engineering introduced what color roses for the first time? Genetic engineering introduced what color roses for the first time? So this was a color that they didn't have in roses. So I know the colors that come in roses are what? Yellow, pink, red, white. Those are the original ones I know. And they're saying pink. I think they got pink roses, red roses we know. Pink, red, white roses, yellow roses. No, not black. They got black roses, though. They do have black. But this was a genetic engineering introduced what color rose? Genetic engineering introduced what color roses for the first time? Oh, sorry, hold on. Let's pop up this one over you guys. I was looking at the phone. Not orange. Not yellow. Not peach. Oh, you said blue purple? It's blue. It was blue. So if you were saying blue and purple, but it's blue. They introduced, so genetic engineering introduced what color rose for the first time, and it was blue. A blue rose. That's different. But I don't know. It depends on what color blue it was, because if it's a dark blue, we might think it's a black rose. What show was that where that guy got the girl black roses and he was the type that give black roses because he loved black roses? But I was thinking, oh, when I think black roses, I mean, I guess they could have a different meaning, but I always think of funerals because I think that's where I've seen them. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know about that one. But to each his own. Okay, the next question. What was the first rap song to hit #1 on the Billboard's Hot 100s? What was the first rap song to to hit the number one on the Billboard Hot 100s. I almost started singing it, y'all. I promise you. I didn't know this song was the first, but I'm not surprised. I know it was number one for a while, and I was young when this came out, too. Hold on while I mute. I answer this phone while you are. Let's see what song you all are putting on there. No, it's not from the Sugar Hill Gang. Not Planet Rock. It's from a rapper that got hung out of a window, supposedly, by Suge Knight. Hey, VTA sis. It wasn't Rapper's Delight. You all aren't close. This rapper, he's been on reality shows such as Surreal Life. He has he went to rock and roll. He has been on what else has he been on? He's got so many different things. Yep, Vanilla Ice. I almost started, as soon as I read the question, I literally was like, doom, 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 but I ain't say it out loud. I'm like, oh, I'll get the answer right there. Yeah, it's Vanilla Ice. I did not know that that was the first. Let me read the direct question. I can't stand when your phone goes. It seems like it go dark faster than usual. Where were we? Oh, what was the first rap song to hit number one on the Billboard Hot 100s? It was Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. That's why I said, when I said he got hung out the window by Suge Knight, you know, that's supposed to be a rumor, allegedly, I wasn't there, you know what I mean? But it's supposedly a rumor that Suge Knight and them did him like in the 5 Heartbeats, you know what I mean, when they did Red. When Red went hanging and telling old boy, like, my office hours are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Yeah, they supposedly hung old Vanilla Ice out, you know, took the copyrights off his song, and that's why they made more money. Suge Knight made more money off of that song than he ever did. But who knows? Wasn't there. But what actor starred in 2 of the top 10 highest grossing films of the 1990s? What actor starred in 2 of the top 10 highest grossing films of the 1990s? This actor has been on TV shows. He's been in some controversy recently. Lots of controversy, if you ask me. I mean, just seems like it's one thing after another with this family, you know, but that's just me. Nope, not Tom Cruise, not Denzel. Denzel's a saint. Nope. But it is a black man. I will say this. It is that. I will say that. Yep, VT. It is Will Smith. Yep. And those 2 movies are Independence Day and Men in Black. Independence Day is good, but one of my favorite movies with Will Smith is Enemy of the State. Like, I don't know. I don't speak. Not saying it's the only one, but Enemy of the State is one of my favorite. That and Ali. Those are like 2 of my favorite. But Enemy of the State, Hands down. Like, great movie. Great movie. Regina King is his great movie. Great freaking movie. That should have been one of his great movies of the 90s. Like I said, Independence Day is good. Men in Black is real good. But yeah, that was one of my favorite. Oh, this one right here, y'all. Y'all know it touched me in the soft spot, but how old was Notorious Big when he was murdered? He was just a baby. He was just a baby. He was just a baby. 2 months shy of his next birthday, you know what I'm saying? But he was just a baby. He was just a baby. March 9th when we lost him. I'll never forget that day because it was a couple of weeks before my son was born. And I said I wanted to name my son, Christopher. But I didn't. But I wanted to. But yeah, how old was he? How old was Notorious Big? Yes, he was 24 years old. He was a month and almost 2 months shy of his 25th birthday, because we do know that Biggie Smalls just celebrated on his birthday. He just had on May 21st. It was his 50th birthday. It would have been his 50th birthday. So yes, he was 24 years old. Rest in peace, B.I.G. I'll always speak highly on him. Anyway, what year did the Mall of America open? I didn't know this, and it was in the 90s. What year? I did not know the Mall of America didn't open till the 90s. Wow, I didn't know that. But it was in the 90s. What year did Mall of America open? What year? Yep, VT. Yep. We said 1990. What question mark? Oh, you said 97. No, it was 1992. Yep, it was 1992. VT. Yep, it was 1992. Oh, where's Heidi? I know she know this one. Now this one I would have got if I was on the other side, y'all. What is considered the first reality show? What is considered the first reality show? Mm-hmm. Ignore Nino licking himself. Look, y'all, he just licking himself. What is considered the first reality show? Yep, The Real World. The Real World. I remember watching it. I remember. That's why it's so hard for me to, even when I look at Tammy, when I look at her and I see her when she was going off on people, and she was even bullying when she was on Basketball Wives, I always think back on her on The Real World when old boy pulled the towel off her and she got the whole house to vote him up out of there because she just felt endangered for her own safety by him. And then she became that type of person to people on the show. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yep, The Real World. Heather B. What year did they have what was the guy, and he ended up having HIV, and he'd be the first person on, was Pablo? What was his name? Oh, The Real World gave us a lot of great good ones. Oh, you did. I love The Real World. Then they gave us Road Rules. Okay, let's see. Oh, that was a good question. What singer broke her own record for highest ever attendance at the Houston Astrodome in 1995? What singer broke her own record for highest ever attendance at the Houston Astrodome in 1995? So this is in 1995. So we know it's 1995. We know it wasn't Beyonce. That's not an answer. We know it's not her because it's 1995. So you know, no, it's not Mariah Carey. Nope, it's not B. It's not Whitney. Nope, it's not Mariah or Whitney. One of the things I know about this artist is that once upon, nope, not Brandy. The Houston Astrodome. She beat her own record. She's one of the great vocals of from the 90s. She has a song on Titanic, but I feel like telling y'all that I'm giving you the answer. I'm letting you know who it is. She broke her own record for highest ever attendance at the Houston Astrodome in 1995. Nope, it is. Yep, VT Celine. Yep, not Selena. It was Celine. Yep. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Selena. Yeah, Selena. I'm sorry. It was Selena. Yep. I'm not surprised. Selena is talent. And I said, I'm sorry. I said on the Titanic because I was thinking about Celine Dion, but then I looked at the answer again. But Selena is talent. Did you all see who had that? Was that you, VT? No, that was Down the Rabbit Hole, where the girl had the pinata of the girl who killed Selena. And I was very inventive to make a pinata like that. And the girl's name was Selena. And she was and she had on the outfit from a famous Selena outfit. Down a Rabbit Hole had that on her videos. You have to check that out. Sorry, I was thinking of Selena, but then I started talking about Celine because that went through my mind. I'm sorry. That was me on the slip with Titanic. That was me. That was me. That was me. And that's another reason why I have to be squint to make sure I read because I don't want to look and see a part of the word and then be, oh, Selena, going dead into but not looking at the word or missing words in the sentence. Oh, yeah. To me, Celine, now, when it comes to Celine, she's like one of the best vocalists ever to me. And it don't take away from anybody else in their vocals. It's just when it comes to Celine Dion, oh, yeah. Yeah. I love her voice. And I know that now, fun fact that I do know about her is that she did not talk. It was either 48 hours or 72 hours before she sung, before she performed ever. Like she wouldn't do any of the talking or any, well, we know she didn't smoke or anything like that. And like that love that she had for her husband and they had for each other, I thought was so beautiful. I thought it was so beautiful. And even when you listen to the song she started writing when he came in her life, like you could truly hear like Celine Dion, because funny, when I read the question, what I instantly started thinking about was Celine Dion and all the things she's done and all her sellout tours. And I started thinking of her records. And I mean like records she said and selling out, you know what I mean? So I started thinking of that. And that's what put me into even responding with Celine Dion as an answer. But oh, I love Celine Dion. I really do. And there's lots of women, especially like the Aretha Franklins, the Patti LaBelle's. Oh, it's so many women I love. You know what I mean? Many. The Sheila E's. There's many. And all of them are for vocals. Some are for their talents. Some are for their dancing skills. Like the biggest thing, like Paula Abdul, when I think of a song I love by her, it's Rush. The song she has, Rush. And the song she has, Will You Marry Me, when she was asking Emilio Estevez to marry her. But really, what I loved about her was her choreography, her dancing skills. So it's many of these artists, but Celine, that's my girl. That's my girl right there. But Selena, oh, such a tragedy. Like, I know today Selena would still probably be making music if she was alive. I know she would. And I know she would have been standing and, you know what I mean, for the movement of her people. Man, I just really do know that. And I really respected Jennifer Lopez for being able to play her, and she's not even a Mexican. He dumb. Let me get to this next question. Sorry about that one. Let's see. Okay. What was the best-selling video game console of the 1990s? What was the best-selling video game console of the 1990s? Now I know everybody knows this one. Oh, people were going crazy. I remember. And I love video games too. These things are still selling out like crazy. These things are still hot commodities. They just know this is the console, so you know, like the system. Yep, it's a PlayStation. These man and this PlayStation 5. So I remember when I was gonna go get a 5 when the 5s came out or whatever around that time. And then my buddy said, "Oh, you gotta be careful because here comes that whole, oh well, one has this much of a memory and this only does this and those things were $1,000,000. I think he got his for like 800. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. You know, my cutoff really with a system be about 5. You know, that system would have to do a whole lot for me to give it $1,000. If that's the case, I'd rather go buy me a cheaper system and a whole nice projector and stuff because I'm gonna get way more use out the projector as a whole. And then I just play my cheaper system on my projector wherever I want. Yeah, I love PlayStation, but I'm an Xbox. Oh, but I can't say that no more because really right now I am a Switch. I am a Nintendo Switch fanatic. That's my system right now. But I like Xbox over PlayStation. But I remember when PlayStation was I became an Xbox fan because I liked playing Tiger Woods. And I liked Tiger Woods better on Xbox than I did PlayStation. So I literally was playing with my buddy Tiger Woods on their Xbox. And then I went and got me that system. Not that same day because I was like, I play Tiger Woods a lot. And I prefer to play it on Xbox than over on PlayStation. So that's how I became a fan. And then I just started loving Xbox. But then when I saw I couldn't get Mortal Kombat back then on Xbox, I'm like, oh no. I'm back on PlayStation. Yeah, you too, Nino. You never played either one. Okay, I think we got 2 more, guys. Yeah, I love video games, so. All right. Which actor was one of the first approached to play Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story? Which actor was one of the first approached to play Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story? Oh, I didn't know that. I want to see Buzz Lightyear's new movie. Which actor was one of the first approached to play Buzz Lightyear? So the first person they approached about playing Buzz Lightyear was who? What actor? Mm. Nope. Nope. Not Tim Allen. No. Not Dan Aykroyd. Hey, Grandma Six. Hey, Doom. Nope. Not Tim Allen. Nope. Him and Whoopi Goldberg were good friends. Like, he's the first person I remember being a comedian have anything to do with like the Oscars and the awards. When I think of him, that's something I always think. No, Nino, you don't know who it is. Let me mute. Why you guys answer that? You all know Nino. You already know. You already know. No, not Chevy Chase. I loved him too growing up. No, it is Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal. And the reason I say him and Whoopi Goldberg, because I remember back in the day, Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg, me thinking like they seemed like real friends. Like they really seemed close to each other. And then I knew like when I started seeing her like at awards, I was like, oh, he must be because he was already there. I don't know. She might have came at the same time as him, but I remember him. Billy Crystal. I'm trying to think what was my favorite Billy Crystal movie. Is Billy Crystal in Throw Mama from the Plane? I mean, Throw Mama from the Train? I'm trying to think of a good movie like with him that I really like. I know he had a movie with like Gregory Hines, I think, because I love Gregory Hines. I think everything he's in is great. Can anybody think of a good Billy Crystal movie? Because I'm sure I've seen it, but I can't name one like off the top of my head, like without going through a Google search. Like I don't want to do all that. All right, last question. If nobody knows a Billy Crystal movie, When Harry Met Sally. Okay, that's a Billy Crystal movie. I'm like, somebody name me one because I could think of him in Whoopi in movies. Because like I said, that's what I remember. Like I remember him when I was young and Whoopi Goldberg and how they seemed like they really had a friendship. I haven't watched. I know my mom liked When Harry Met Sally because, like I said, I was younger, so I was probably about 10 when that came out. Maybe 9 or 10. So I would have to watch it. You know how when you were young, I don't know, everybody didn't because some people really lived under the G code that you didn't watch any movie that wasn't a kid. But we watched everything. We watched Raw. So if we had a movie night, whatever movie people picked out, we all watched it together. If you picked out, when my brothers picked out Nightmare on Elm Street, we all watched it together. Like you just watched the movie. So some movies you thought you understood, you laughed at things, but if you watch them later, you just have a different way. I'm gonna watch When Harry Met Sally as a grown up. Check that out. Say the orgasm scene. Oh, when they were cowboys, that is Billy Crystal. City Slickers? Is that City Slickers? I remember that because I know you're not talking about the Three Amigos. Because it's Billy Crystal. No, he's not one of the Three Amigos. That's Martin Short. Um. Oh, Martin. Three Amigos is old boy who's in the movie Father of the Bride. Oh my goodness. Yep, City Slickers. That's a funny movie. I remember that when I was young being funny. And I was a kid, and I remember that being funny. Okay, the last question is, what was the most watched TV episode of the 1990s? What was the most watched TV episode? So it's just this one episode of the 1990s, the most watched. And I'm just going to take it out the list for you right now. Because for some reason I thought it, as soon as I read the question, I thought Friends, but it's not even Friends. It's not even Friends at all. I tell you one thing, this show had a great song for the beginning of the show. Oh, John Candy was great. The Great Outdoors is one of my favorite childhood movies from the 80s. The Great Outdoors, Train, Planes, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, those are my movies. And then is it me or does anybody notice like in the movie Home Alone, remember when the mother's in the van with them with John Candy and the guys and they're getting her back home, to her crib. Uh does anybody think like that reminds them of plane, trains, and automobiles? And I've always wondered, like, was that, I don't know, it just reminded me that the characters, them in the little truck, I don't know, just reminded me of the movie. Like, was that supposed to be attached? Was that who his character kind of was in that? I don't know. It just reminded me of that. Like in Poetic Justice. So remember Isha, Janet Jackson's best friend, who's played by Regina King. Remember on Poetic Justice, there's a part when she's in the back of the truck with old boy when they get into it, and she tell him like, "I'm gonna get Dookie." Well, not in the back of the truck when he smacks her. When Joe Torre smacks her, and she tell him like, "I'm gonna get Dookie and what did she say? Dookie and I forget his name to come get you." And it always make me wonder, like, is she naming characters from back when she was on Boys in the Hood? Remember that? So I was like, are they tying the character to one person? Her name is Isha. Like, is that the Isha from Boys in the Hood? Like, like it's a real person and that's really the character. I always wonder that when I was watching films. Or maybe I watch too many films and I think things nobody thinks. But I always wondered if one of the things had something to do with the other. Yeah, I love John Candy. Y'all got me off in a tangent talking about John Candy. But the last question of the night, I'm sorry, guys. We got into the John Candy. Last question was, what was the most watched TV episode of the 1990s? It wasn't the Ellen Show. Oh yeah, I love Uncle Buck. It wasn't the Ellen Show. And remember, I told you all it wasn't Friends. And this show had a great, not Married with Children. This show had a great song for it when it came on. And just the other day, I actually was talking about it was one of my songs that I just loved but it was so many songs. Back in the day, the shows actually had good songs when they came on. All right, guys. It was Cheers, the Cheers finale episode. I love the Cheers song. Just starting from you want to be where you can be, where you can see your troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. I used to think, I do want to go where everybody knows my name. I love that song. Told you that. The Wonder Years was my favorite, but that what was it? Family Ties had a good song when it came on. Uh Jeffersons, Good Times. Remember we was just talking about this the other day. Hey Grandma Sings, we were just talking about this the other day. Like, oh goodness. Those when shows had good songs when they came on. Yep, it was the Cheers season finale. They made a couple of little spin-off shows off of Cheers. I mean, Frasier became super, but whoever would have known Chelsea Grammer, Kelsey, is it Kelsey? Kelsey Grammer. I would have too, because when I think of Cheers being big, I think of I remember when not Woody Allen, Woody Harris, is that his name? Not Woody Harris. What is his name that became the bartender, the guy that ended up being in White Men Can't Jump? What was his name? I remember when he came on Cheers. But oh, I didn't even realize. Wow, Cheers did go to the 90s. Well, you know what? It had to, because LA Law went to the 90s, right? And Cheers, LA Law, The Cosby Show were all in a lineup on Thursday night. I remember that. I remember because that's when The Cosby Show changed their beginning. And they had that little, fancy beginning where they're dancing and whatever with each other. They changed their beginning, but then there was LA Law, Cheers, The Cosby Show. They were all in the lineup. And we had not The Real World. What was the one that came on after The Cosby Show? Different World. So they all became part of the Thursday lineup. I remember that. What was that other show after LA Law? It was a few years after LA Law, and it had the Harris brother. Oh goodness, what was the name of it? I used to love that show. Oh, but it was a legal show. They were like what was the name of that show? I used to love it so much. And it just reminded me of at the time, more modern LA Law. It was in the 2000s. What was that show called? And it had the Harris brother. I can't think of, what is the old boy's name that played Avon from Avon Barksdale and The Wire? His brother. Oh, his brother that's in I Can Do Bad by Myself, the Tyler Perry movie. But he used to be on a show and he was a lawyer. Him and they were. Yeah, Woody Harris, but his brother. And he was a lawyer in a show. Oh my goodness. He was like one of the top at the firm he was at. He was messing with the girl. Not The Client. Oh, what is the name? The Client is a movie. What is the name of that show? I can't think of it. It's gonna be stuck in The Practice. Did anybody watch The Practice? That's what it was called, The Practice. It just popped up in my head. That's the name, The Practice. I'm trying to think of what's old girl's name you would mess with. But that was a good one. There used to be a lot of good shows. Back in the 90s. And it's so funny because when I think about the 80s, it was a lot of great cartoons to me in the 80s. a lot of great movies. But when I think of shows, not really. There were good shows you watched or shows you watch, but not really to me great shows. But the 90s did have a lot of good TV to me. We not supposed to do the headache. We just we just supposed to have some fun. So now, guys, I have been on here actually an hour and a half, and I wasn't to keep you long because don't forget we get together at 8:30, and we just gonna come together real quick and give nothing but some good vibes and some tips to each other of ways that we meditate, we relax, we get some sleep, we get some rest, we get some peace. So if it's lighting a candle, whatever it is, so we're gonna share those things with each other at 8:30. So that'll be our 8:30 to 9:30 thing. Because everybody gotta get ready for the week. So we want you to get some rest. Try to get some rest. Try one of these things, but we want to uplift each other. So that's part of the Pajama Jammy Day. That's why we just had a little game time, a little fun time, a little laughter time, because I want to make sure all through today when I did come through, we were in good vibes and that everybody's in good spirits and good vibes for at least the moment or the day. So that's what we're in right now. So that's what I'm hoping for today for everyone. So yes, so I will be back at 8:30 so we can do our spiritual ending to our Pajama Jammy Jam night of giving each other energy. So things that give us peace and relaxation and rest. So we will share those tips with each other and just put them in the chat. Different ideas, if it's a tea, whatever it may be, we are just share that with each other. And that is what we will do at 8:30. So I don't know if everybody's about to go eat dinner or go watch something else or just sit down and chill, but I hope you enjoy yourself in whatever you do until then. And we will be back at 8:30 and I will see you guys then. Thank you for coming and having some fun. And I apologize when I gave a wrong tip or if I misread a question first. That's why I definitely had to have the camera off because I had to truly use my eyes to read the comments, to read on my phone the question and make sure I was reading the right thing and not jumping from one question where my eyes are looking at two questions or misreading the question. So thank you guys. I really enjoyed this. I really had fun and I learned some things that I did not have a clue about too. So that's always a good one for me. So I will see you all later. Have a good one. See you in a little bit.